Sure is an amazing street circuit here in Adelaide. 3.2 kilometres around these days and 14 turns and maybe another dozen with these Toyo Tyre Stadium Super Trucks presented by Traxxas. They're on their warm-up lap, but a different way we've seeded the race, and the point score's a bit different to how we'd see it, Sean.
Absolutely. They're racing 3 races throughout the weekend, this being the last and final of those 3 races. There's points given for each one of those races here. It basically what it is, it's similar to like motocross or Destinations or a GP. It's basically points for all 3 races. Whoever has the lowest amount of points at the end of the weekend is going to be your overall winner for the weekend and take home the championship here in Adelaide. Right now, Robbie Gordon, he's really happy. He's sitting there up on the leaderboard with 4 points. He's hoping to be able to hang on to that lead and actually go home with the gold at the end of the weekend.
And Charles Dorrance has been familiar at the front, but it's been caught up in a few moments, including that rollover on the formation lap in race 1 on Friday. And if you haven't caught our coverage this weekend, you're in for a real treat. These cars, these trucks, have been doing some amazing things. They've lit up social media, haven't they?
They have. Our social media for here at the Clipsal 500 and for Super Trucks and everything has just been blowing up here in Australia. This is a fairly new series. We're only, this is the first race of its 3rd season. So this is our opening round here. So we've only done 2 years in the United States. It's gotten absolutely huge. It is a crowd pleaser without a doubt. And for those of you that haven't had an opportunity to see that, you're only going to need the edge of your couch right now at home because this is going to be really wild as soon as they drop that green flag.
Watch some of these trucks at the back, including former IndyCar and NASCAR star Robbie Gordon, the man behind these Stadium Super Trucks. We're underway in Adelaide, and it's going to be game on. In turn 1, Charles Dorrance will lead us to the centre chicane, and the South Aussie Brad Gallard moves up to 2nd place as they hit the centre chicane and thunder their way up Wakefield Street.
And you see in the back, we've got Gordon and Bezo having to start behind the 2nd jump. So they've already had to get in the air twice when the other guys are able to get the power of the ground with those Toyo tires. Now you see them single file as they go through this tight section. You'll see them get ready to go down that long straightaway soon, getting ready to go into turn 8. You'll see them no longer single file there as they start to swap paint. In the back there, in that red Traxxas truck, the 74, that is yesterday's victor, Sheldon Creed, up on 3 wheels. 3 wheels, a good feeling for Sheldon Creed as he gets the power to the ground.
I dare say those Toyo tyres have still got the original stickers on them. They've hardly touched the ground this weekend in Adelaide. Oh, something coming off one of the trucks there.
Something coming off one of the trucks as they land off that jump. A little bit of debris in the track. We will not be going into a caution for that debris. We're going to run that over with these Stadium Super Trucks. As you see right now, Toby Price back from Sydney, racing his KTM motorcycle last night.
I caught some highlights of that last night. He did a good job.
Was some highlights, did very well. Now Toby Price in that 4th position.
The captain, Roger Penske, looks on. He's seen this all before.
Roger Penske actually invited us out, and we have him goes around. That is
That's Nathan Pretty.
Yeah, Nathan Pretty in that Toyo Tires truck. Kind of surprising. Pretty actually really doing well yesterday, leading a good part of the race early on. You see going over that big Traxxas ramp, these trucks getting real sideways. No, that is Sheldon Creed. Already Sheldon not even completing lap 1. His hood up in his face. That's going to make for a long lap with Sheldon. Not be able to see very well, especially on these long, fast straightaways.
So here comes Gallard, who's got the lead. So what's happened to Dorrance here? He's dropped right down our timing screen. So has that truck gone off perhaps? It's leaking out of the Kincaid machine, so that's what's come out on the Bartels Road side of the track.
And that's a Keegan Kincaid really having some bad luck yesterday. It looks like he maybe, again, he's hoping that truck's going to hang on here. You mentioned Dorrance, he's fallen off the pace. Could be some mechanical failure, I'm not sure. But I can tell you that these guys are really, really pushing it. They're going to be lifting those lap times down today, maybe falling off the pace a little bit. And there's Mingay. Mingay pushing Creed. You know, Mingay's been 3rd place in 2 races so far. As we bring it back, we see quick replay.
Gallard.
Real sideways. Wow. And there's Toby Price, front and low. It's real sideways for Creed. As you see him launching off those big Toyo Tire and Traxxas jumps.
Oh no, they've come together. It's Bezo and Matt Mingay. 2 have been having a troublesome weekend.
They have. That is not the first time those 2 trucks have swapped paint here in Adelaide. Luckily, as we get halfway through this race, they will go into a mandatory competition caution. when they will bunch the pack back up and go green for the last and final race. Both those drivers right now are very much looking forward to that opportunity to get back up in the pack.
Looks like that chicane at the bottom of the Kettleville Terrace there is a lot more sharper than what it was yesterday. They're washing off a lot more speed.
It is. They're slowing them down a little bit there before they get in that Toyo truck. Now you see, we're going to the replay. We'll see what happened in between Vizo and Mingay. Vizo goes to the inside of him, and loses it. Mingay just out there driving up, doing nothing wrong. Here comes Vizo up over that berm.
Leader is off.
The 454 of Gallard off into the puckered weeds.
Now, has he landed weird as EJ Vizo does the same?
EJ Vizo, you know, this is an off-road truck series, so you see Vizo going off-road for a little bit through the grass there.
And that's what's so unique about this series. You can race half bitumen, half dirt if you like.
Yes, you can. You see there, Toby Price got a stop-and-go penalty. I believe he may have got into the chicane a little bit and penalized for that, for hitting the chicane. So he got a stop-and-go penalty. Long to still stay in the pack there.
Here's what's happened to Gallard. It's an awkward landing, and it steered him straight off into the grass there on the run down to turn 13. He had an awkward landing last time by.
He did. That one was real size. I can promise you from personal experience, that hurts really bad. When you land that sideways, it is a very painful experience. See Mingay trying to make up some ground. We see Gallard gets out of the grass there. Meanwhile, right now we're still looking at Kincaid out front. There he is, his hood's blown out, lost some parts off the truck. The other Traxxas truck of Sheldon Creed, his hood's up in the air as well. And right behind him, that is Robbie Gordon in P3.
And see, Robbie Gordon's done this once again. From starting at the back, is now third.
Mingay realizing he can't go 3 wide off of that jump, opts to go around the ramp, but does not gain any ground on the other competitors. I believe race control is going to allow that to work out for him. Meanwhile, right now, who's getting some pressure applied to him? Sheldon Creed, looking in that rearview mirror. We saw this battle yesterday for several laps towards the end of the race with Sheldon Creed out in front and Robbie Gordon all over him. We'll see today if Robbie's going to be as kind and as gentle with the young Creed as he was yesterday, being the last and final race. I don't know if we're going to see that happening as we see some hood debris off of Kincaid's truck in the track there.
So moment of truth here perhaps for Sheldon Creed. He's got a veteran of racing these days in Robbie Gordon all over the back of him. He's only 17 and still in high school. 17, he's a senior in high school in California. He's won numerous rounds in Stadium Super Trucks in the last 2 years. Finished second to points to Robbie Gordon in 2014. You see him almost going 3 wide there. Oh, Mingay, he's coming fast. Mingay not lifting off the jumps whatsoever. He showed us that he had no fear on test day back on Tuesday, without a doubt. Creed goes a little wide, allows Gordon to slip into P2. Gordon getting by without swapping any paint at all. Not one mark on that bright orange speed Toyo Tire Traxxas truck of Gordon all weekend long, driving very smooth. The only thing that's gone wrong with this truck is a transmission after qualifying practice early in the weekend. That's right. He had a transmission slipping out of 3rd gear. They put a new tranny in, and he's been running great ever since. Now Sheldon Creed, he's thinking, hey, you know, maybe I'll learn some lines from the old man. Follow him for a lap or 2 and see if he can improve his lap time and get back by. Meanwhile, a nice race there for our 4th position in between Toby Price and EJ Vizo. Oh, I don't think Creed's done with Gordon yet. I think he's helping him through the chicane. That chicane is getting straightened out a little bit, going a little bit faster. You see Creed makes that pass. Is he able to make it stick? Robbie Gordon back to the inside. They are back and forth, back and forth. Neither of them wanting to lift. Both 3 wheels on the ground, one high up in the air. See him coming around this ramp, good sideways. Creed straighten it up, his line right there, making it a little bit faster over that ramp as he has in the past. Gets back in front of Robbie Gordon. That Traxxas truck is working very well for Sheldon Creed right now. Plenty of Toyo tires being locked up at the hairpin onto the main straight. So now the competition yellow comes out and will stack the field up. And again, Vizo, he's going to be giddy. Very unlike Vizo, starting out this weekend on P1 on Friday, winning the first race. No surprises there. Yesterday, getting around twice, spinning out twice today. I don't know where EJ's head is right now. That is very unlike him. He's usually a methodical driver, very, very talented. As you see these guys going over the start-finish line.
getting ready to go into our caution lap here, the mandatory competition caution.
What have you thought of this slow-mo stuff? It's incredible, isn't it?
It is absolutely so cool to see this slow motion stuff, see how the trucks are working, see the abuse the trucks and the drivers are taking here. It's really cool.
Toby Price, I reckon, gets the award for the most airtime off that jump. As a young South Aussie has got the big chance this weekend.
Gathered sideways on that one as well. Not quite as sideways as we saw him early on. And you see, boom, as those Toyo tires, the sidewall squished right out of them. Now you see those big, heavy tires and wheels back and forth. Imagine hanging on to that in that forearm pump. You're tired, you're sweating. And you see Dorrance up over the rocks.
He technically hasn't touched them.
Technically hasn't touched them, and that's the thing in the driver's meeting. They were told if you touch those rocks, you're going to get a stop-and-go penalty. Well, he went over them, but he didn't touch them. See Toby Price and EJ Vizo getting into each other there. Vizo getting the short end of the stick on that one, taking that live truck number 5 and spinning it out for the second time in this race so far.
Was EJ calm yesterday after race 2?
I don't know, because by the time I got down there, he was already gone.
All right.
So I would say maybe he might have been quiet, but he probably wasn't calm.
They form up for the restart here on lap 5. The Toyota Stadium Super Trucks here on the streets of Adelaide.
As we see out in front, we haven't seen a lot of Keegan Kincaid in this race because he's just been out in front running on his own. He was very upset yesterday with some mechanical failure, not doing as well as he had hoped. He told me about an hour before the race, he says, most likely if I don't win this thing, I'm going to come back in with no body panels on it, and they're going to have the roll bed drop into the seat container because it won't be able to run itself. So he's planning on running this truck to the top of the podium or not even finishing.
Win it or bin it, I think it's a classic term, isn't
That's
it?
it. That's it. Pin it to win it.
This is really slow. Are they just making sure everyone's caught up before the restart?
I would have to imagine right now that it's a combination of things, Matt, that they are getting everyone caught up, get the whole pack together, and also they may be clearing some debris off the track. So
right.
Race control, Jason Smith with USAC up there, I'm sure he's telling them, hey guys, let's slow it down, let's bunch it up. We may have some course workers off in one of the turns right now, getting the track cleared up to make things good and safe. These trucks are built to pretty much run over anything that's in front of them for the most part. So it's more or less just for a safety thing and to clean it up, make it look good for our people at home. We don't need to have debris all over it. So we don't have a yard sale here. We have a race.
That's
so
right.
We want to make it looking good.
Great way to describe it.
As you see them here getting ready to come around the last and final turn as they get ready to go into our Traxxas and Toyo jumps on the front stretch. They are about to take that green flag for the last and final portion of the race. Right off the bat, both Traxxas trucks almost jumping to start out in front. It is Keegan Kincaid in P1. Yesterday's victor, Sheldon Creed in P2. Both of them hoods peeling off. Meanwhile, P3, that is the bright orange truck and Speed Energy Traxxas Toyo tired vehicle of Robbie Gordon.
How much airtime did Creed carry through Wakefield Street? That was up in the air for well over 200 meters.
Absolutely. You know, Creed is, he's young. He has no fear, and his body doesn't feel any pain at that age, and he just holds it right to the wood off these jumps.
EJ Vizo gets back into it. He runs in 5th. This is lap 6. And I guess 8 laps is enough around here to start getting some physical torture to him.
Yeah, it's some physical torture to the drivers and to the trucks. These trucks are built very, very tough, but we want to run up to the point where, we're finishing with all the trucks and not just breaking them all down and having just a handful of competitors go over the finish line here. There you are, very fast section right there, that big right-hand sweeper as they go into the chicane. You can see they stood that chicane back up, back in place again. Keegan Kincaid getting sideways off that jump. Meanwhile, Matt Mingay back up in the pack, pushing. Now, tell me this, what is Keegan Kincaid seeing right now?
Not much.
Not much at all. All he sees is his sponsor Traxxas as it's up in front of his face right now, having quite a struggle. Meanwhile, behind him, Sheldon Creed having a similar issue. Then a nice, clean truck of Robbie Gordon there. And then in P4 right now is EJ Vizo making up another spot. Vizo sees an opportunity to be on the podium one more time here in Adelaide, and he's going to do everything under his power to do so.
Nice 3-truck battle coming towards the finish line to start lap 7. Some serious air from Kincaid as he leads this past. Robbie Gordon still is, and EJ Vizo, the Venezuelan who test drove in Formula 1 and held the record at Indy. for 6 days many years ago.
6 days, 2014 Indianapolis 500. He was the fastest lap on the track, and he's out here showing his skills in the Super Trucks here. He knows he has to finish one spot better than he is right now. He has to be in front of Robbie Gordon for the overall points. Right now, Robbie's sitting with 4 points, EJ Visa with 5. He must finish in front of Robbie Gordon here to finish the best that he can overall and get up on the podium for the end of the weekend.
You can feel it. What's going to happen between these three right now? Someone is going to go out of this group, you'd think, as they make the run down Bartels Road.
And you can see here out in front, Keegan Kincaid in that blue Traxxas truck. He is pushing it hard. He said, I am here to win this. He knows he's out of it for the overall for the weekend, but he would love to finish this great weekend here in Adelaide on top of the podium, up on top of the box. And he's just slowly leaving the pack right now. Meanwhile, back there, we've got 3 of the greatest drivers in Stadium Super Trucks kind of slowing themselves down and allowing Keegan to pull away as they're battling on a 3-way battle for P2.
And it'll allow Matt Mingay to join this battle, you'd think, with a couple of laps remaining. Our Australian hope lives on the Gold Coast.
Well, you see Creed up on 3 wheels very often. You know, that means he is on the gas that much. He gets real sideways coming off that Traxxas jump. See Mingay just watching all of this unfold. A lot of smoke coming off those tires, braking really hard going into that turn. We saw that towards the end of the race yesterday. Sheldon Creed getting on the brakes real hard, smoke coming off the tires as our leaders grab the white flag.
But Mingay having dramas. He's going to miss the ramp here by the look of it. Just cruising past, so he's dropped a ton of pace, and now it starts to really heat up with 1 to go.
1 to go. Here we are out in front. Keegan Kincaid trying to relax and just run his own race. Meanwhile, chaos is unfolding just behind him right now. As in P2, it is Creed, Gordon, Vizo. You can throw a blanket over him as they all challenge themselves for P2. Oh, you see there that Toyo Tire truck really landed front and low. That's a scary situation to be in, I can tell you that right now. Right here, bumper to bumper is Creed and Gordon, as we saw yesterday as well. I'd be very surprised to see Robbie Gordon be the gentleman that he was yesterday to Creed, being this the last and final race out here. We may see some paint being swapped. There has not been a scratch put in that orange truck yet this weekend. And now with 1 lap to go, you see a big hole in the hood. He's going to start moving Creed around if he needs to.
So 3 potential passing points, but they've straightened up the chicane.
They straightened up the chicane. I believe that's what happened with Mingay. We saw him on the front stretch. He got a stop-and-go penalty for hitting that chicane. So that's what happened to him, as he and Price both got into the chicane in this race and were penalized with a stop-and-go. Meanwhile, up on 2 wheels, bicycling into that jump, that is Sheldon Creed, yesterday's winner. Does he have anything to challenge? Right now, the leader, Sheldon Creed. Can he challenge the leader here? I don't know if he can. Robbie gets to the inside of him. Oh, Robbie makes a move and doesn't leave him any room to work. Not the gentleman he was yesterday, but that was a good clean pass. As your winner, Keegan Kincaid.
Oh, no! He's gone and rolls into the fence just over the finish line and keeps it going.
There you go, Sheldon Creed, the showstopper.
Can you believe that?
As the crowd goes wild there, Keegan first, Kincaid in first, Robbie Gordon in second. Creed comes over the finish line, upside down, get back on the wheels, and he's showing he's hanging loose.
I've seen it all now. I have seen it all.
Robbie Gordon makes the pass, doesn't leave him any room. Sheldon says, it's not over yet. I'm diving to the inside of you. Laying sideways over the finish line. Here's a little something special for the crowd. Show the sponsors on the roof.
Perfect.
And we're back and going over to the podium.
You will never see that on the streets of Adelaide ever again. And he still holds on for 3rd position.
I wouldn't necessarily say ever again. Hopefully we'll be back in the future.
Would it be that cool though? Like that?
It's hard to say. I don't want to take away from it. That was a pretty amazing finish. But I'd be lying to you if I said that's the first time I've seen Sheldon go over the finish line backwards.
That is amazing. Saving the best to last. As Creed rolls over, back on all 4 wheels, and the crowd go mad here at Adelaide.
And there you go. You see it again. There is the replay of the pass for the 2nd spot. I'm wondering if Kincaid's watching in his rear view right now, seeing all this unfold as Kincaid takes the win over the finish line, sideways, into the wall, back on the wheels. There he is. Wave it to the crowd. Let them know, hey, I'm all right, and he's heading to the podium.
Let's take a look at the results in that amazing Toyo Tyre Stadium Super Trucks. Thanks to Traxxas, and it was Keegan Kincaid that got the win. Let's not take that away from him. Robbie Gordon got second. The upside down Sheldon Creed gets in for third. It was Mingay, Brad Gallard, Nathan Pretty, back to Dorrance, Geddes, Hines, and EJ Viso dropping down to 10th.